Welcome back to the online class of Sri Gokulam Public School, Vadagara. We have learned about force. Now, let's see what are the different types of forces. Generally, we can classify the force into two types. They are contact forces and non-contact forces. So, first we can see what are contact forces. Contact forces. Contact forces, from the word itself you can understand what is contact forces. There should be contact between the objects. So you can recall some of the situations we have already discussed. When you kick a ball, let's see an example. Contact forces, when here you are lifting the book, our hand is in contact with the book. When you kick a ball, you are like this in contact with the ball. When you crush the plastic bottle, your hand is in contact with the bottle. All these cases, our body applying force and the body is in contact with the object. Okay, so in these situations, you can see when we apply the force, our body is in contact with the force. From where does this force come? We are applying force. Where does this force come? Can you say? Yes, our muscles exert force. Okay, so this type of force is called a muscular force. What is the example for muscular force? Contact forces, you can give example, muscular force. Can you give examples, muscular force? Yes, all these situations we have explained. That is, when we kick the ball, lift the book, close the door, all these cases, our body is in contact with the objects. Okay, so we are applying force, our muscles are applying force. So it is called muscular force and it is a contact force. It is a contact force. Okay, now can you give some examples other than human being? Yes, animals. We are using different animals for different purposes. Bullock cart. Then horse cart, isn't it? Then donkey. We are using all these for our purposes. All these cases, these animals applying force on the objects. So that is also example for muscular force. So muscular force is a contact force. Muscular force is a contact force. Why it is a contact force? Because our muscles or our body is in contact with the object. When we are applying the force, our body is in contact with the object. So it is called a contact forces. Now can you give any other example of contact forces? Contact forces. Yes, can take some examples like consider a ball is rolling on the ground. After some time you can see it will come to rest, isn't it? And a swing, after some time it will come to its rest position. Here we are not applying any force to come to the rest. Automatically it is coming to the rest position. But children, now observe these situations. Is there anyone applying force to come to the rest position? Can you say? What is the reason here? We are not applying force, but there is a force which opposes the motion of the object. Here, ball is rolling on the ground. The rolling ball comes to rest after some time due to the action of a force. That is, an opposing force arises between the motion of the object or between the surfaces, a ball and the earth. In between the surfaces there arises an opposing force. That opposing force is called friction. What is that opposing force is called? Frictional force or friction. Friction. Okay. So this is another example of contact force. Friction. Friction. Every motion there is an opposing force. You can say every action there is an opposing force, and this opposing force act in the opposite direction of the moving body. Okay, so that is called the frictional force or simply friction. This friction is always acting in the opposite direction of the moving body. Okay, so these are the examples we can give for the contact forces. Contact force means the force which arises between the objects or between the objects when they are coming in contact. Only when the objects come in contact. Okay, that type of force is called contact forces. We can give examples for contact forces are muscular force and frictional force. Muscular force, you can give many examples. The force exerted by the muscles of human being and animals. And frictional force or friction, you can give many examples like a rolling ball tends to come to its rest position after some time. Non-contact force we will discuss in the next class. Okay? Thank you, children.